Hey everybody, welcome to our Facebook Live today. I am Dr. Maggie Yu and I'm an integrative MD focusing our program. We have an online program for transforming autoimmune disease naturally. And we're live today. And today we have a guest, Maribel, and she completed our program a year ago. I'm going to give a little bit of a background. I'm going to let Maribel introduce herself shortly thereafter. And for those of you that are just joining us right now, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. If you're watching, let me know where you're watching from so I know the demographics of who we're talking to. For any alumni that are joining us right now, let us know you're an alumni. Anybody currently in the program, let everybody know that you're currently in the program. Tell people what your experiences are. So this is real, this is live, and we have Maribel joining us. A year ago, Maribel is a successful career woman who was doing great in her career. And yet, after the birth of her second child, she realized that she was a mess. And she was dealing with a lot of different symptoms. And we'll go into that in a little bit. But later on, basically during the program was when she found out she actually had Hashimoto's. And she completed our program a year ago. And this is a 1 year follow-up of someone who's done our program and finished it a year ago. And I really want to show people that this isn't just about a 2-month transformation. This is a 1 year process and a lifelong journey to success. So I love to introduce Maribel, somebody who just graduated in our program that's kicking ass, taking names, and chewing bubble gum. Maribel, tell us about you.
Hi, guys. Well, I have 2 children and I'm currently living in Long Beach, California, and I'm a teacher. I'm a science teacher for middle school. I've always been a middle school teacher, and if any of you know out there teachers, you need a lot of energy, you need to be sharp, and you need to be able to be like this in the classroom. But after I had Lucy, the second one, things went haywire, went crazy in my body.
So tell us about it. You said that this is 3 years since the symptoms started. What was the 2 years prior to joining the program like? What were the symptoms that you were dealing with? You didn't even know they were autoimmune, but what were those symptoms?
I had always, before that, I've always been very sensitive to cold, and I was always cold and complaining about how cold I was. And then later that didn't really catch my attention. But then after I had Lucy, I blamed it all on postpartum, and I thought it was postpartum. And I thought, oh, I have postpartum depression. And I didn't have it with the first child. So I thought I have postpartum depression. I had never been depressed before this. And my husband would be coming home and I'd hold the baby up and I'd say to him, please take her. And I'd start crying. I said, I can't. And I just start crying. And I would sit in the corner of my room and I just cry, and he couldn't find a way to soothe me. And it was just, I was a mess. Emotionally, I was a mess. I could not control my temper. I would discipline my older boy that was at the moment 3 years old, which is a difficult age. Toddlers are difficult at 2 and 3. And so I remember that my best way to discipline was always yelling at him. I'd always resort to yelling at him. And I was miserable. I'd cry after because I didn't know what else to do. I could not control my emotions. Fights with my husband were escalating on a daily basis, and they were over petty things. I could not,
Irritable as hell is what you're saying.
And I remember, it's one thing when you have a newborn, you're not sleeping. So on top of that, I remember I knew something was different. I got out of bed one morning, and minute I touched the floor, my heels were in so much pain, and I had never felt that pain before. And I said, oh my God, I could not believe, but that pain was consistent for an entire month, and I could not figure out what was causing it. And then it became like when I was going to bed, my calves were hurting, like this ache in my muscles that were hurting. And then eventually I tried to make some diet changes, and I started getting rid of grains in my diet to see if that would make a difference. It made a difference for a while, but things were just not good at work either. And overall, my whole life was just a mess.
You were doing great at work, and then and you're saying at work you have to be really on to be a top performer, which you were. But you realize after the birth of this child, I mean, you're telling me that there was insomnia, there's severe mood changes, depression, irritability, weight gain, joint pain, swelling. And let's talk about working out. I mean, before we go to working out, I want to ask everybody who's watching right now. Pamela Seifert, thank you for watching and letting us know you're alumni. Anybody who's alumni watching, please let us know you're alumni. You've been through the program. Any of you that was with Maribel, please let us know that you were with Maribel and you were with her and she's real. And so are you. Please, and anyone else watching, please comment, tell me where you're watching from. I love knowing where you're watching from. Give me a thumbs up right now, Maribel. And anybody that you know that could benefit from learning more about Hashimoto's or turning around autoimmune disease, tag their name in the comment section right now. So Maribel, let's talk about working out. I mean, you've been fit throughout your life. What the hell happened after the birth of Lucy?
I remember I picked up working out like in college in 18. I became very passionate about working out. I loved it. And then before Lucy, I started getting into strength training and I started lifting weights and doing all that. So I thought, okay, you know, I got some weight to lose after I had Lucy. So I started working out again. And within a month of working out, the weight wasn't coming off, but I wasn't so concerned about that because I had the patience to wait for the weight to come off. I wasn't in a rush. I just wanted to pick up my routine again. But I remember getting home and I told my husband, I said, honey, I said, I'm sore, but it's not a sore from like muscle, from working, like from lifting weights. I said, this is a different kind of sore. This is a different ache in my muscles and it does not feel good.
Okay.
I said, and I gave up and I told him, you know what? I'm done. And I never given up working out. I said, I'm done. I am not working out. I'm done.
I remember that first conversation with you and where you were. You literally said, I'm done probably 20 times. Right. And so, yeah. And so what I want to tell people is that, you know, a year ago, you finished our program. And at the end of the program, you had certain outcomes. What I want to know is, you know, you had all these issues going in. And I know you had outcomes at the end, but gosh, okay, give us a brief 1-minute synopsis of what were your outcomes at the end of the program at 2 months. And then I want to hear where you're now a year later, because I want to show people what a consistency after a year looks like. So at the end of the program, what were some of the outcomes that you saw immediately within the first 2 months?
Oh my God. No, my pain, all my body pain was gone in 6 weeks. The first 6 weeks, I woke up one morning, I said, honey, I said, my neck doesn't hurt. I actually slept through the night and woke up, my neck doesn't hurt. The next morning in the 6-week mark, my shoulders, I said, oh my God, my shoulders don't hurt. I said, nah, this is whatever. This is only going to last a week. This is ridiculous. And then the next morning, it was like the third morning. It all happened on the 6-week mark on that whole week. It all happened day after day. I woke up and I said, my knees don't hurt. My knees started hurting in college around 19 or 20 years old.
That's when autoimmune started, girlfriend.
Right? Yes. And then I said, my knees don't hurt. And I got off the bed and I started jumping and doing jump squats. I said, look, it doesn't hurt. I said, wow. I was screaming and jumped on the bed. I jumped on my husband. I was just like, wow. I was so excited. I said, oh, it took 6 weeks for that gluten and shit to get out of my body. I was like, oh, excuse me. I said, oh my God. I said, I cannot believe it. It took 6 weeks just to get it out. And I was like,
well, what did I tell you on the intro video? How many weeks it takes the gluten to get out of your body?
It takes a lot. It takes anywhere from
We said about 6 weeks.
Yeah. And
not to quote myself.
I was going to give up. I was like, maybe gluten. I'm like, maybe it's not my problem. Like, maybe this is not going to be the thing that solves my problem. And I was patiently waiting. And suddenly I just woke up one morning and I said, you're kidding me. And I gave it that whole week and the next week to see if something was going to come back. Yeah. Oh no, that was just the beginning of glory.
All right. So at the end of the program, a 2-month program, you found that pain was gone.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
Sugar cravings. I had always been eating sugar since I was like in middle school, even younger than that. Sugar cravings were gone. I was actually able to control my cravings for sugar and sit through a meal or a table or a party and not go for the treats on the table. I'd be like, nah, no thanks. I'm good. Like self-control. Okay.
Anybody in the program right now or who's been through the program, if this was your experience or you have a similar experience, any experience with all this like Maribel, please post in the comment section and let people know what was your experience around your symptom changes at week 6, 5, or some of your wins when you were in our program. Anybody currently in the program, say you're currently in the program. Thank you. So Maribel, at the end of the week 8, you're experiencing some of this, right?
Yes.
Okay. So unbelievable. This is a 1-year follow-up. Okay. And all of us want to know, because I'm sitting on pins and needles. I want to know what has happened in the last year. Where are you today?
Oh my God. I'm 10 times better than I was in college.
Okay.
I feel like, oh my God, like my energy is ridiculous. Like the way I'm working out, I seriously got scared. I even asked my current practitioner that I'm seeing, I told her, I said, look, I said, I'm working out like a beast. There's got to be something bad that's going to happen to me, right? And I told her, I said, I have never worked out this like awesome in my life. I said, you should see me. I said, the amount that I've never lifted weights that heavy. I'm progressing every week. I'm actually like, I said, I'm done with that weight and I'm going up on weights and actually increasing my weight and doing more weight and lifting more weight than I ever have. My muscles, like, I'm like, oh my God, maybe I should slow it down.
Can I see it? Can I see it?
I'm feeling really strong. You know, like just loving this muscle definition. Anyway, you know, and that fat's slowly gonna melt off, but I'm headed in the right direction. I'm feeling good.
Holy hell, you look hot. You looked good before. I have to say, when you posted that photo in the alumni group just 2 days ago, my jaw was on the ground, girl.
For my MCT oil.
I mean, it's incredible.
Oh.
Yesterday I actually did a Facebook Live myself talking about personal win. And I don't know how many of you are in Orange Theory, but I joined Orange Theory like a year ago. And so if those of you who know what splat points are, when I started Orange Theory, I was at 10 splat points. And that was already huge for me. I mean, 3 years ago, I couldn't even stand and walk for more than 10 minutes. So 10 splat points was amazing. And yesterday, girlfriend, guess what? How many splat points did this woman have?
How?
49.
Ooh, my husband goes to Orange. Well, used to go to Orange Theory and always sent me pictures of his slap points. Oh my God.
And so my point was actually on the Facebook Live I did yesterday was about consistency. So I want to find out, all of us want to find out, what did you actually learn during during the program that you've been applying consistently the past year to get here? So what did you learn that you have done consistently? Because people want to know what the secret sauce is.
Okay, so the secret sauce is in this program that no other practitioner that I have gone through after your program has been able to meet that, is the education that goes behind it.
Oh, yes.
And you know, they say education is empowering. I just feel like you cannot get through this autoimmune condition if you do not get the education behind it. I can tell you to give up gluten, and a practitioner can tell you to give up gluten and dairy and all these other things, but you will not give it up because you do not understand why you have to give it up. And the thing is, every time when I was going through the first 8 weeks and I was like, oh, I want some gluten, I want some bread. I'd be like, no, because I know exactly what's going to happen. And I know exactly what that gluten is going to do to my body. And if I did cheat and I took a bite, I'm like, all right, that's fine. Move forward, woman. Be consistent. And every time that I've had I fall and I have a bite of my kid's grilled cheese, that's dairy and gluten, I'm like, okay, you know, all right, it felt good. Did it feel good? I'm like, okay. But in my head, I already know everything that happens into my body when that happens. And it's that education. And with all your modules, you have so many modules. And on top of that, you also have your the master calls that you have with all your different patients.
Coaching.
Yeah, and the community. I don't have a community with any other of my practitioners. All my practitioners is just me and my practitioner. The community is I'm learning from everyone else's issues and mistakes, and the advice you give them, I'm listening to that and being like, oh, I had that too. And then so you kind of get more advice. You kind of get indirect advice that way too. But
I actually think I call it hyper learning, because what people don't understand is when you're just one-on-one with a practitioner, first of all, time is really limited with your doctors. Second of all, very few of them actually are experts in autoimmune disease.
Yep.
Third of all, none of them have the time or the capacity to really teach you.
Yeah,
really, it's not the visit isn't about education. It's about what's the quickest band-aid I can provide, right? But this is purely an educational kick-ass format, and you're doing it with a group of other people, small group of other people who have, even though different diagnosis, all the same similar underlying causes. They just show up differently.
Yep.
And so there were always questions that you didn't ask that somebody else asked, and you're like, ding, 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 ding,
Yep.
ding, ding. Right? So in the, let's say even the same span of time, 1 hour, you're learning 10 times faster because you're learning from 10, 15, 20 other people.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what I stress in my classroom. We have to have conversation. As a teacher, there needs to be conversation in the classroom because you feed off of everyone else. It's just like it's education, and it's so empowering. And I can't tell you how many times, I've told people I have to eat this way, and they think I'm just doing it for like diet needs or to lose a few pounds. They don't understand. They don't understand how serious it is and how threatening. I didn't tell you this. I had a relapse. I fell. After I left your program, I decided that I was so desperate to drop my cholesterol that I decided I would go keto. And I tried keto knowing that after your program, I wasn't allowed to have dairy. And I said, well, keto is lowering everyone else's cholesterol. So I'm going to do keto and I'm going to have dairy.
So
that was the biggest
Wait a
mistake.
minute. So you're going under another generalized diet that's personalized for no one after you went through our program and had food mapping to personalize your plan.
I had to be stubborn and I had to experiment. I went ahead and experiment. Yeah, I shot myself in the, you will not believe what happened to me, Dr. Maggie.
What happened to you?
Oh my God. I decided to experiment in December. Remember, December 31st is when I started the keto because I got my blood work back and I said, my cholesterol is still high. I've been dealing with this for so long. I'm going to do keto because it's working for everyone else. I did keto. I started eating cheese and dairy and all this. In 2 weeks, I couldn't use the restroom. I had no bowel movements. I wasn't sleeping. And I was miserable with those two, insomnia. And then I told my husband, you know what? There's only one thing that's changing my diet because keto is practically, I was doing everything the same, high fat, vegetables. And then I told my husband, I told him, you know what? It's the dairy. That's the only thing I added to my diet. It's the dairy. I said, no.
And you knew from your own data that was a problem, girlfriend.
And do you know how long it took for me to recover?
How long?
3 months.
Yeah.
It took 3 months to get the dairy all out of my system, and I got my energy back again.
I want you not to be so hard on yourself because there are people out there, most of you out there dealing with autoimmune disease that are going on keto, paleo, autoimmune protocol, SCD, GAPS, FODMAPs, fruitarian, whatever diet you're going on. I mean, this is 3 months for you, but for some people it's 3 years or 3 decades that they're on these diets and feeling shitty. Right?
Nope.
So 3 months you were able to recognize cause and effect. Like you recognized cause and effect within 2 weeks, and it took 3 months to clear it up, but you knew the path.
Yes. And that's, this is what's so awesome. I am so good at pinpointing exactly when something's wrong. And guess what happened also? Because of your videos, I told my husband, I woke up one morning and I said, I have stiff neck. I said, oh my God, Dr. Maggie, the video, thyroid, that's a thyroid signal that she told us about. I said, it was the worst stiff neck. And we were going on vacation to Mexico. And it was the beginning of our vacation. We were going on vacation. And I woke up with that stiff neck and it took a whole week. And I told him, I said, oh, I'm done. I said, that's the red flag. I said, that's my thyroid. And it destroyed me, Dr. Maggie. My thyroid levels went all the way back down again. And I had to start all over in 3 months. But I wouldn't have picked up on those signals. The insomnia, I wouldn't have picked up on that. I wouldn't have picked up on the bowel movements. And then the neck, all those 3 signals, I said, I know what it is.
To me, so key in those 2 months in our program, the training is cause and effect. You got expert training on cause and effect so that now as you go through life, you're able to look at feedback data.
Yes. Yes.
And your body's giving you data, your labs is giving you data, and so you take that data and you say, okay, I need to course correct. I need to course correct. The quicker and faster and more frequently you do course corrections, guess what happens? The quicker you get to your
results.
Boom.
Boom, 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 boom. And guess what happened?
What?
Okay. So this is my lab work. This is June 8th. And this is when I started screaming. And this is after I started screaming and jumping up and down. And that's when I sent you the message about what happened because my blood work, this is the first time. I have dealt with cholesterol, high cholesterol that they told me was familial cholesterol that was hereditary from my mother that my sister and I both dealt with our entire life, that I would never be able to get rid of this cholesterol. Never, not even with diet, because I tried vegetable galore and it wasn't happening for me. And then, so the cholesterol has always been high, and the cholesterol got even higher after I got Lucy. My cholesterol was so high, the doctor said, oh my God, if you were an 80-year-old, you would have already had a heart attack. Let me put you on statins. And for the first time after I had Lucy, I actually took statins for the first time. My cholesterol went down with the statins. And then I joined your program and I said, well, now I know the drugs work, threw it out. And I said, I know there's something natural out there that can work even better.
Yeah.
And so
what's the result? Dun, dun, dun.
Get ready for this. If anyone doesn't know about cholesterol, you have total cholesterol. And in that total cholesterol, you have HDL, which is your good cholesterol, and your LDL, which is your bad cholesterol. My HDL has never hit this high. HDL is my good cholesterol.
The higher, the better. Think of it as healthy cholesterol.
Oh, and by the way, good HDL is supposed to be greater than 39. My HDL was 78, baby.
Boom.
What?
No.
Big time. Oh, and okay, my LDL, this is where I was so ashamed. My bad cholesterol, you're supposed to be between 0 to 99. That's your range. My bad cholesterol was 280. I was supposed to die from a heart attack. So then I get this blood work. My bad cholesterol is 188. It went down 100 points.
Wait, bad cholesterol is at 88 or 188?
It went down from 280 to 188. I knocked it down 100
diet alone.
Yes. It went down with diet alone, with everything that I've been doing.
Yes. And then your HDL went through the roof.
Yes. And my HDL went up to 78. So it's not just, yes, diet is huge. Like that's probably the most important. Like, wow. But there's so much more that diet starts creating. You start sleeping again. There's just so much more. It's a chain effect.
Tell me the chain effect on your family. What has changed between you and your kids?
Oh my God. Now when Luke and Lucy do something, when kids misbehave, I'm chill. I'm just like, come over here. Let me talk to you. I said,
that's even worse, Maribel, when you're like, come over here. Let me talk to you.
Oh yeah, they're scared. Yeah. And in the classroom, it's beautiful how it happens. Instead, I don't yell in the classroom anymore. Like I started yelling. I remember I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I felt like a horrible teacher. Mm-hmm. And so then in the classroom, it's the same thing as I do with my children. I said, okay, what are you doing? What happened? Okay, what are we going to do about this? And it's just so chill. And like, I don't overreact anymore. I'm calm. When I have arguments with my husband, I don't even know if you want to call it an argument anymore. I get upset over something. I just bring it up and we talk about it. Hey, you know what? I wasn't cool with this and that. And then we talk about it, but I don't get all emotional and hysterical and walk out of the house storming out angry. It's just not like that anymore.
So those of you that are watching right now, if you have never been a depressed or irritable person and you're finding that yourself irritable, and say me too. And what Maribel, to me, like this has been huge as far as changing. Immediately at the end of 2 months, you're already feeling this, but a year later, it's not just your kids, but it's also at work with the kids you work with at work. And then what's changed in your relationship with your husband?
It's just, there's more love in there. There's more understanding. We can resolve issues in a more calm way. So there's not so much tension between us. Yeah. Oh, and he's beautiful. This whole year, he has been so beautiful. He really stepped it up, Dr. Maggie, because what happened, oh my God, I haven't even told you what I've done.
What?
Okay, so, this is another thing that I didn't even tell you. After I finished your program, I had, I started a new position, a new teaching position. I switched districts and I started working for Long Beach Unified. And that's very stressful, starting a new position, new school and everything. My first year was beautiful. Like I didn't break down. I actually got through, it was like being a first year teacher. After 12 years of teaching, here I am on my 13th year of teaching. And I'm actually getting through the year smooth sailing, no breakdowns, no depression. And everything's just calm and chill. I'm able to handle a big plate again. I used to be able to juggle and just handle all this and handle life. And then after I had Lucy, you should have seen me. I wasn't even able to handle like going on a family vacation. I said, no, it's too much packing, too much to do, too much for me, too stressful. And I remember I didn't even want to like go to parties sometimes because it was just too stressful. So I handled my first year as a teacher a new school, new district. I handled going back to school for another credential, and that was going to school again and handling all of that during football season when my husband's not around. My plate was so full. And on top of that, still planning a huge birthday party for my father, his 70th birthday party. And none of it was stressful.
And check out your physical body. I mean,
Yes.
your physical body has gone through a total transformation. That's why I didn't even recognize you.
Yeah.
Boom. So for those of you that are in the program right now, or those of you that are alumni, I mean, let people know what was your transformation. Some of you have been out a year or longer. Tell people what your results are that you're getting now. What was at the end of the program? What is it now? Because the truth is, consistency is really important. So a couple things. If people need to know what the strategy is. They need a strategy, which is what we do, which is a root cause approach to autoimmune disease. They need a system. There's an exact system during our 2-month program that we teach you on exactly how to master the cause and effect and dealing with the root causes. And number 3, there's specific skills that we train you in over and over again so that you continue to execute like a madwoman or madman over the next year.
And you were so good. The program was so good. I was able to get through a practitioner and realize that practitioner is not what I'm looking for. It's not what I want. It's not what I need. And I cut her off and I moved on to the next one. And I found one that I'm like, you know what? I'm happy.
That's empowerment though. So Mirabelle, that's empowerment because I love to tell people that I actually teach, our program's an educational program on how to actually be an advocate for your own health.
Yep.
So, and there's nobody that's teaching patients and real people how to do this, especially with something as complex as autoimmune that regular practitioners don't understand.
Right.
Right. So let me ask you this. I mean, this was a big investment of your time, energy, financial focus when we were in this program. This is, and so my thing is that, are you worth it? Was this worth it?
Of course. I would have quit my job. I would have ended up quitting my job. I would have ended up divorcing my husband. I would have ended up like affecting my children because of the way I was behaving. I saved my entire life. Like, I just feel like, oh my God, I just got myself out of the worst situation and would have destroyed my relationships in every single way. I would go back and do it again. I even told my husband after the second practitioner that I had found that I thought was going to work, but it ended up, I told him, I said, oh my God, I said, the amount of money I spent on that practitioner, I could have gone back to Dr. Maggie's program and done another 6 months or whatever amount of time. And I said, I would have walked out of there tenfold. And I just told him, I was like, God, that was a dumb move. But still, you learn and grow from it. But yeah, absolutely, it saved my life.
You know what it is I just don't think that people understand that an educational format around their health is worthwhile.
No, they don't. And I think your health is the biggest investment that you can possibly make, because without your health, you're not going to have your career.
Without health, you will not have any wealth.
Yeah, people put so much into their career and other things like beauty. People pay for plastic surgery. People pay for a trainer. People pay for meals to be made for them, or those programs where the meals get dropped off to your home. You pay for all that, but you don't have any like education behind that. And with the functional with the nutritionist Frankie, with that, oh my God, it was a dream come true to have a nutritionist in your program where I was actually able to learn how to eat,
right?
And have the basics of that. I got the ground basics of how to eat, and then I just took off with that. And now I create masterpieces in the kitchen that I actually enjoy eating. I have never loved eating vegetables so much ever in my life.
Me too.
And yeah, I love it. And I'm like, oh my God, I got excited about making a broccoli salad last week, and I had to post it because I was so excited. I was like, oh my God.
I just get super excited about my chickpea salad. I love my chickpea salad. It's amazing. You guys, when I'm in our program Facebook group, I'm constantly posting videos of me making stuff, my meals, everything, because I love food, right?
Yes.
I love it. So Melo, who's currently in our program, says, I've lost 2 pounds so far without trying. I mean, that's the thing people don't understand is the losing weight effortlessly or getting exercise results effortlessly.
Yes.
That's not even a lot of people's program complaints coming in, right? And then I have Sheila who's commenting, who's currently in our program, says that she has had visual loss over the last 19 years and her vision is now coming back clearer and clearer and clearer. And she's only in week 6.
Oh,
I know.
wow.
Crazy. Well, we wanted to do this year-long follow-up. I was shocked as heck when you posted your photo, and I love seeing where you're at right now.
Oh, thank you. Dr. Maggie, thank you so much. I honestly think of you all the time. And I'm like, oh my God, there's so many moments where I'm like, I want to share with you and wish I could just walk into your office and be like, Dr. Maggie, guess what happened? But I'm glad we have each other like this and we're still able to see each other and the community. I feel like I'm part of your family. And it's just awesome that I have this relationship with you. And I still refer to you as my doctor, Dr. Maggie.
It's funny. You said that people don't actually believe that I'm real in your life.
No, I mean, I've been talking about you since I've been in the program, since I joined the program a year ago. And I'm like, oh, I joined a program online and, it was through Dr. Maggie. And I'm like, I can tell by looking at their eyes and face that they think I'm just BSing. And they think, I'm like, no, I really had a doctor. I've even showed my parents like pictures and videos of you. I'm like, no, she was my doctor. We actually talked to each other through FaceTime and through video. And she actually like consulted me. And, we had conversations about my health and my blood work. And we would analyze it together. I'm like, she was awesome. I have a doctor, trust me. But this is just awesome that now I can actually share this video and people can see that I actually talked to my doctor. Like, this conversation could be shared that this was the doctor that I actually had for 8 weeks and had made a difference in my life. And I have you to thank for everything. You're the only one out there that educates that I know of. And thank you. You're amazing for that, Dr. Maggie.
You know what? Thank you so much for posting your photo and sharing your wins and talking about how your relationship with your kids at your work and with your partner, your husband, has changed. Your joy is infectious. It's just literally infectious. And thank you for inspiring me. This like pumps me up, girlfriend.
Woo, good.
I have alumni here all commenting and about their wins. I have people who identified where you were. Gina Brady saying me too. So many of you out there, if you want to learn more about how to actually transform your autoimmune disease naturally, what Maribel went through, you can join our Facebook group and the link is on top of this video. The name of our Facebook group is Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally. If you want to watch a free training about what our program is about, you can also go to drmaggieyu.com and you can watch a free training. Just learn more about us and come in the Facebook group, join us, and meet amazing people in the community like Maribel. Thank you, everybody. That was awesome. Thanks, Maribel.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Maggie.
Have a great night, everybody, and thanks for watching.